In this lesson, I want to explain how to animate UI objects in the game. If you go into the map, and this is a map of the games from the start, beginning is the main, after that go main UI, and after that going to the world. This world UI is over the world. You can see the button, and after that you game over, you can game over. I explained it if you want more another object that you want. But if you are in a free version, you cannot add any word. You have to go to the Pro, or you can add new UI object that you can go to that page. If you click on any of them, as you can see, we have an sitting here. I explained it, but in a start, we can just add a music. It's very simple. If you already insert any sound, you can do it. Okay, here I have main UI sound. You can play it. Okay, you want to add any of the music, you can go and simply click and drag it here. And if you play, if you want to, you can loop this music, and if you play, if you insert music here, it's go along all of this environment. As you can see, if you go into start, and after that start, and if you go into the word, you can add a music. As you can see, the word has no any component to music, but if you add a music in this node, you can hear the music in this node main UI. If you want to add another music to the main UI, here you can add a music here. Okay, it's very simple. And here you can add another music there. Okay, I add some music. Okay, if you hit the start, this is the start. And it is very fast. It's very fast. You can add your music here or here. It's not a problem. You can delete it for. You can add a music on a main UI if you play it. Okay, this is a start. If you going and double click on this, as you can see, because this is a free version of the buildbox, this icon here is a lock, and you can just click here and add your graphic, your logo here. You can just add your logo here. As you can see, we can insert, click and drag our logo there. And as you can see, in the music, if you go into the map, we have nothing here, and we have no animation. In this lesson, I want to explain animation, but first I will explain there. If you go in here, and if you click on the main URL, we have the same thing here. You can change the name. These are for advertisement that you cannot. You have to go to the Pro version. And if you double click on this, okay, we have lots of more setting, and of course the animation here. And in the next lesson, I will go to explain all of these important button and label here. And if you go to the main UI, then the main UI, we have the button to jump, navigation, observer, and here we have an animation, of course. This is an animation of the UI object in C. If you see this timeline anywhere in the software, it means you can animate anything in the object, in a environment of the game. And we have the same button that you can use them in its own position. So if we begin from the main UI. This is the page after start. In here, you can do your graphic, and you can insert your graphic. For example, this is a background. You can delete that and insert your background. Here it's via our object manager. For example, you can insert any object as a background. For example, this object. As you can see, you can insert it as a action button, purchase button. These are graphics. that's connected to that object. But in this case, you have to insert as an image. As you can see, this is our background. You can scale it, holding shift to scale proportionally, and here it's the object manager. You can click it, drag it down all of these icons. This is another object that you can insert. You can select it. As you can see, this is another object that you can insert. All of these settings are the objects, but this special thing is a button. It's a start button. You can lock it to don't select that, and here you can select the start. I don't know why I can select it. Okay, you can select them here. This is a start. This is this is not a special graphic because it has its special button here. Okay, this is a navigation button. As you can see its icon. It's a navigation button. Okay, I will explain it. This is a navigation button. As you can see, you can insert any navigation button that navigates you to the special. If you, for example, insert a navigation, you can do it. Okay. As you can see, I explained it more, but it's not important. I want to just teach you the animation. I can delete that background to better see it. This is I'll just focus the animation. As you can see, if you play it, this is a start. Oh, I have to go and delete the music. After start, we go to the main menu, and if you click the start, going to the word. And as I can see, this is a start, and this time is ideal. And after that, you start, you can add an animation and go to the game. So we have 3 modes to do that. If you double click to that environment, open. When we open, you can, for example, animate your button. If you are in ideal mode, if you want to close it, go into the another animation. As you can see, this mode does not have any animation. We have in this mode just ideal and open. If you open, you can set an animation. Here is our timeline, and here you can specify your frame, and here you can see the curve. We want to first animation if open. If you go to this page, if you open this page, we want to add an animation. And here in this button, you can add your graphic. Any graphic that you want, you can add it, but we'll explain it later. This lesson just animation. Okay, this is the first frame. If you play it, as you can see, for example, in open, I want to something like this happen. This from this direction, it's going in this. Okay. First, I want to go into this frame. If you select more frame, we have a smoother and a longer animation. For example, in this frame, and here you have to, as you can see, you can animate the position, rotation, scale, and opacity. Okay, you can just animate the transfer. You have to first activate the keyframing mode. As you can see, this border show you that here I'm in keyframing mode, and any movements that you move to your object, this is keyframing. I want to keyframe this object to this position and the rotation. Here we are at this frame, and simply hit enter and click here, enter. As you can see, the keyframe is here, a keyframe set here. So in 20 frame, in the frame 20, this is the position of our button, and going to the frame to the 0 and bring the position, for example, here. We can holding shift to make it. As you can see, it's automatically keyframing. If you click and drag, as you can see, the animation will be happen, or if you play it. If you want to this animation happen faster, you can click and drag this keyframe. If this is an It's like a border, it means not selected. If it's a full color, it means selected. And as you can see, if you play it, it go faster. And test it. As you can see, this is an start. Okay, it's animation done. It's very simple. You can animate, for example, this is an start. Going to this object again. If you select it, as you can see, we have no keyframe. If you select it, we have the keyframe here. And if you click here, you can open the curve. We change the Y position of that. As you can see, just we have an animation here with easy out and easy in. You can change the nodes framing here, as you can see. And this isn't just for how amount of there. Okay. As you can see, going here, it changed nothing. It's just about the preview. But as you can see, it's going here. This is frame, and this axis is a position of that keyframe here. This is a keyframe position. It's here. But if you change it, you have, if you want to see that, you have to change click and indicator here. If you're going and make the indicator here, you can change the position. The peak of the maximum amount of this frame is exactly the keyframe that you set it. You can change it. As you can see, the position of Y is that change. So for changing the position Y amount of that keyframe, you can simply click and drag it to up and down. If you're going up, it's going upper this keyframe. Okay, it's going start. So with click and dragging, you can change the frame and amount of the position of that object. To see that, you have to be in that frame with changing the indicator. Okay. And if you play it, as you can see, this animation happen. You can choose which parameter you, as you can see, this is not active. The opacity, you don't animate the opacity. We do not animate, yes, this is a rotation. All of these are active, but just we have a keyframe in position Y. And here you can add another animation for the game. I want to set the animation of a start in a 10 and exactly game in a 10. Going to the indicator to the 10. Select it. This is an indicator. Going to the 10 and active the keyframing. Going to this slot, position, enter and enter. It's set it here. Go to this first frame and holding shift and click and drag to the outside of the keyframe and automatically keyframe. As you can see, all of them will be happening in this. This is an open. If we go into this page, the open animation will be happen. Okay. And what is the ideal? As you can see, we have no keyframe in the ideal, nothing. We have nothing here. In ideal, this is an ideal. This is an open. And if you are rating and watching the main UI, this is an ideal. In the ideal, you can animate a rotation or the opacity of that, for example. Going to the ideal. This is an open. This is an ideal. In the ideal, I want to have an rotate holding Alt, and you can rotate it as an animation. Okay, I want to change the rotation. In this moment, I want to hit enter to the 0. In this frame, I want to make it in this direction. It's automatically keyframe. In this direction, holding Alt, bring back in this direction. As you can see, we have an rotate animation here. And then bring it back to the 0 again and keyframe. This is our animation. This is an open animation. As you can see, this is an ideal animation. It happened once. It means just click to me. And here you can go to rotation. And here are rotation animation. And as you can see, you can change the curve. and make it softer and smoother. If you want to add animation, you can go and add it any animation that you want. Okay, I want to make the animation of the opacity of that. In this frame, I want to this opacity to 1, that frame to the 0. Hit enter, and after that going to the 1 again, and the 0 again. Here you can specify any enter to set it. In this time again 1, and we have the opacity and the rotation of the ideal. Nice. Here you can go it, and in the opacity, as you can see, it's on, and it means since we have an opacity animation here, and you can change the handle, the curve handle that you want. So also you can change the scale. For example, if you go and select that, close it. Here's animation. I want to set it a scale of that. In this frame, you can set it enter in scale in X and Y. Go to this frame, holding shift to make it bigger in any direction that you want. Okay, and we have a scale, and in this direction going it's smaller, holding shift. As you can see, we have a scale and opacity animation. Interesting. Okay, as you can see, this is an ideal, and you can start. If you close it, in these moments we have not any animation for closing. And this is an animation. It's very simple. And if you are going to the main UR, as you can see, we have an animation list here. You can, for example, animation this icon. You can do the open or ideal. If you open this menu, you can guide your user to, this is a jump. As you can see, this is a jump button. I will explain the button, don't worry. I animate the positioning of the voice. That okay, hit enter. Oh, we have to first open the keyframing. Hit enter to keyframing that. Select it, hold it up in this frame, holding shift and make it down, up more again. In this frame, make it down, up, then make it down again, and see the animation. Okay, so you can guide your user. That is a jump animation. This is an ideal start. As you can see, this is an animation of the guiding. It's opening, and if you want, you can go to ideal. Ideal means it's when you are opening the game and doing your game, it's always have an animation that you want in any frame that you want. We have no close here, close animation. Game over. Okay, in this situation we have no any close animation. If it means if you want to close something, you can make an animation here to close. For example, in a main UI, if I select the start, going to the close, keyframing, I want to keyframe it here. No, you cannot make an animation for close. I don't know why, but if you click and close it, you can make an animation here. So anywhere in the object, anywhere in a software that you see this timeline, it means you can animate your objects. Or for example, if you're in a Word UI, you, for example, Add a score, I will explain that. Add a score, add a button, add a, for example, action button. Action button, it means if you can buy an action. I will explain it. You can add the ideal open. Open means the first opening that's seen, just that animation. Or if you want to have an animation align the game, you can add animation to the ideal mode. Okay, this is an animation. This is an interesting there. That's it.
Hello my friends, to continue these tutorials on YouTube, subscribe us, like us, and hit the bell icon. And now you will be alerted about all of the amazing videos that we release.